Alright, so what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to speculate about what could happen in Berserk 365. Of course, all these speculations are just guesses on our part, but I'm trying to use examples from past chapters to sort of build an argument of some possible situations that could arise. So try to keep an open mind, try to have a little fun with it, but let's get right into it, guys. So we know with chapter 364, the Moonlight Boy was spending time with Guts and his party. He slept in his mother's bed and played with the various elves and Guts' crew throughout the day. He even had a pretend sword fight with Guts himself. Then, of course, when night fell, we saw Guts outside looking at the Moonlight Boy. His hair started to change, he started to speak, and then he turned into Griffith. Now, this is something we've all known about for some time now. It's no surprise that Griffith and the Moonlight Boy are sharing the same body, i.e. the same vessel. To that end, we have to remember a couple pieces of information that may be relevant to chapter 365. Now, when we go back to chapter 238, when Casca encounters the Moonlight Boy on the beach, we have to remember some key pieces of information. One of which being that when Guts and his crew were about to go inside, we saw Guts look off to the cliffs. He thought he heard something, but he said, "Must be my imagination." Off in the cliffs, however, we see a shadowy figure that looks an awful lot like Zod. We can see the horn in the wings. Now, it's presumed that Zod was in the area because he was protecting Griffith. You know, given the fact that he's in a childlike form, he might be more vulnerable. He might be more susceptible to someone killing him, so Zod's sort of just keeping a watch on him and keeping a watch on Guts' party. Now, this is applicable to chapter 365 because with the Moonlight Boy turning into Griffith, and with him seemingly vulnerable, Guts could enter a rage-filled state. He does have on his Berserker armor after all, and just go for the throat. He could try to kill Griffith right there and then. And we could possibly imagine a situation unfolding that was similar to the one on the Hill of Swords, where Guts attacked Griffith, but then was stymied by Zod. If that means that Zod is on Elfhelm, watching over Griffith, does that mean that the other mages are aware of this? Or does he have a way of hiding his presence? I'm not really sure. You would think the mages like Donan and Gedfring would be able to sense his presence and would alert Guts to that fact. But you never know. It's hard to say. So my first theory is that as soon as Guts sort of comes to his senses, he's going to feel this state of rage. He's going to feel this anger welling up deep inside, something he won't be able to control. The Beast of Darkness is going to start to take over again, and he's going to lunge towards Griffith, but Zod is going to intervene. Now that's one theory, but the second one I'm also considering that might even be more likely is we already know that the Skull Knight is on Elfhelm. Now, he was talking to Donan when he was by the grave of the Lady Priestess of Cherry Blossoms. Is it possible he's still lurking on Elfhelm? And if so, is he possibly eyeing up a spot to kill Griffith? Because as we know, Skull Knight's whole aim in life is eliminating the God Hand. Griffith is a special case, in which he exists in his human form and his God Hand form. Well, this would be a fantastic opportunity for him to eliminate Griffith, because it seems like when he's Femto, it's next to impossible to do it. But in this state, when he's transitioning between the Moonlight Boy to his human form, it might be the opportunity to do it. Now, if he were to come in and try to lop off Griffith's head, what would Guts do? Would Guts just watch the event, or would he save Griffith? Now, normally I would say he would just let it be and let Skull Knight get it. But there's two reasons I think he might not let him do it. Number one, he wants to be the one that kills Griffith because he was the one that was betrayed by Griffith. He would want to get that cathartic moment, that bliss of getting his revenge. And secondly, he knows that Griffith shares the same body with the Moonlight Boy. So therefore, if he were to kill Griffith now with this knowledge, he's effectively killing his son. And he already can't see Casca because of the emotional trauma from the past. Could you imagine what that would do to Casca, since she's watching the proceedings, if he were to kill Griffith, i.e. his pseudo-son? That would just absolutely devastate her. So I don't think he would allow that to happen. So I think if Skull Knight comes in and tries to eliminate Griffith, i.e. Femto, I think Guts would come in and save his life. This would give Griffith the opportunity of escaping and going on the branches of the World Spiral Tree, or possibly hopping on Zod's back. And this would sort of create an interesting dynamic between Guts and Skull Knight, because up until now, Skull Knight has provided useful advice to Guts, but Guts impeding his goal of eliminating the God Hand would sort of set off this alarm bell like, hey, what the heck are you doing? I thought we were in this together. And then he might start to withhold information or even become an adversary. There was a posthumous interview with Kentaro Miura where it stated that Guts and Skull Knight could possibly be enemies and even have a fight with one another. So maybe this could be the event that precipitates that. So those are my two major speculations for Chapter 365. Just to let you know, guys, it has been reported that on June 24th, we're not only getting one chapter of Berserk, we're getting two. So we're getting Chapter 365 and 366, along with some colored pages. So absolutely hyped for that. Let me know what you guys think of these theories, and I'll catch you on the flip side.